everybody! Sorry for the delay. Oh god, there's been a lot of shatter. Hello, G-Chan! Woo! Void Dweller, Jess. And T. Doors. Pro. Zarmigas. And Mystery Theater. Welcome back to Analogue, a Hate Story. Last time we had an emergency situation. And unfortunately we had to abandon temporarily because it did say that, there would be 24 hours between the two. Like, they would be deleted in 24 hours. So maybe there's still something we can do. Because, due to this ship almost melting down, one of their cores had to be put in jeopardy, and oh god, between Mute and freaking Hunai, and I'm sorry, like I saw people like saying, like, why'd you seem so readily to abandon Mute? I didn't really. I didn't really want to abandon her because I really didn't want anybody to die, but I just felt so sorry. I felt so sorry for Hunai, and Mute seemed like she was kind of chill with everything, even that, like, more mildly annoyed, while like Hunai, I just felt so sorry for her. Like, her story was making me tear up, while Mute, I don't know if Mute has any recollection of any kind of life, of if she even was based on a human. And like, if I had to choose between them, like, and the game literally forced me to choose between them, then my conscience wouldn't let me choose anyone but Hunai. In that, please tell me if the music is too loud, by the way. In that, plus, she's a fan of Umineko, so... a solidarity. And, I think it'd be cool, honestly. Like, if I was some kind of spacefaring adventurer in this far-flung future where humanity is some kind of Kardashev level 2 civilization here, that, I would totally want her as my own personal AI assistant. She is awesome. Like, I don't know. I just think she's the type of person where, like, I could have the, turn it down a smidge. Yes, I will smidge it for you right there. Smidged. And just unceremoniously leaving her to be deleted, that would be just the ultimate betrayal after all this time. She never even, oh my god, because she has dreams and everything, while Mute seemed very content where she was. Like, she seemed she had lived through life, although she definitely had her own feelings, like, and felt sorry, and for, goddamn, I'm even, like, shedding a tear right now just thinking about these things. Like, that's how much this game, like, I gotta say, in the time that I don't play this game, I think about it. And it drives me insane when I have to frickin' when I have to turn off the stream. Because I just really want to know more about these characters and what's happening. It's driving me fucking nuts! Oh my god. And, if I absolutely, like, the game, yeah, Like, Mute lived 300 years and was totally chill in her position. Like, she's lived a long life being around people. While Hyunai was born with a terminal illness, then got flung into this horrible society, then got turned into an AI and was alone for 600 years. By the way, we have no idea how she was turned into an AI. Which is another big thing. How the fuck did that even happen? And, like, she would just have died a miserable, unceremonious death on the ship, deleted, not even realizing it, when she was just starting to be happy and just getting to know somebody who she was sort of connecting with as much as she can through yes-no questions. There's no way in hell I could do that to her. No way in hell. As much as I didn't want you to die, there is no way I would let Hyunai die. I would take a fucking bullet for her right now. I see, and plus she has dreams of things she wants to do. I don't know. If I could, I would definitely save them both. Absolutely. And it looks like we still might have a chance to do that. If you're a Viet, would I choose you? Oh, Ji-chan. Of course. Now let's see. Let's get back into it. We have done many. We've talked way too much before the game about the game. I just access log documents. I guess now we should do the Mute's questions. Now that that's open and, you know, everything's chill. Okay. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Number 2, yeah. Wait. Yeah, we did that, okay. Why don't you treat me with more respect? Oh, hello, Burncastle. Welcome to the stream. Like, exactly. I would not want to, just deactivate her without even, just as she was getting some hope. Like, the first real hope in her entire life. I would never. Like, I couldn't do that. There's no way I could delete her. And plus, there's still a chance to save Mute. We have 24 hours. Alright, let's see what she has to say about this. What? Jeez, my word. What are you talking about? When have I ever not treated you with respect? I don't know what's wrong with that awful AI, and I definitely don't know what's wrong with you. I'm not. No. I'm just showing you the question. Why would you even say something like that? Jeez. No, I'm just showing you the questions. Oh, I see. What do you really look like? Well, about a few thousand lines of assembly code and a few gigabytes of memories, I suppose, sitting on a hard drive somewhere. Only a few gigabytes? Jeez. You think it'd be more than that? Sitting on a hard drive somewhere. I don't really know what that looks like. Oh, I guess you actually meant before I died, didn't you? Well, I mean, didn't you look like this? Isn't this what you look like, I guess? You know, except in normal clothing. Well, I was 13 when I woke up and 16 when I died. So, well, I looked younger. But it wasn't really all that different, just shorter. And I guess, smaller in other places too. Unite! Everybody would do that. No shame, no judgment. Everybody! If every woman would do that, and if they say no, they are a goddamn liar. No shame, no judgment. Everyone always did say I was pretty, though. Even when I was really young. So just, I guess, picture a shorter version of me without the glasses. And with my hair in some dumb braid or another. A hanbok, and that's pretty much it. I never really got to dress up the way I wanted to. Oh God. See, like, look at this. I could never delete her. I could never delete her. Even, this is the first time I've been able to wear my school uniform since I was 13. Before I got put in stasis. How silly is that, being excited about wearing a uniform? Girl, I wish I got the chance to wear a school uniform, but I grew up in America where everybody just wear their own fucking clothes in school. And I mean, you know how much I was into cosplay. I never really had a chance for that when I was alive. Imagine, like, the culture around different shows that would arise on, like, a generation ship. Like, I don't know if they would be able to get new episodes of things. Like, would they? I think they'd be able to get FTL transmissions from Earth, right? You know I would not fit into a G-Chan. And I'm too fucking old. I guess it's just nostalgia for something that I never even lived through. Ah, jeez. Hello, Lestat. Welcome to the stream. I never really had the chance for that when I was alive. What do you even ask? What are you thinking? I don't think you're being dishonest. I think you look good. Well, thank you. What were you gonna say? Anyway, we should really get back to the more serious stuff, don't you think? I'm just going through these questions. I want to see what you think of them all. Well, I think we already know the answer to this question since you just told us, but... Isn't that the one question you're never supposed to ask a woman? She's so rude. Well, I was born in the year 2415. Then was put into stasis for I don't know how long. Then I lived for another 3 years and died about 22 years ago at the age of 16. So you tell me how old I am. I don't know. Really, I don't think it matters at this point, does it? I mean, I'm just going through the questions. Oh yeah, this is a good one. How do you feel about mute? Oh, of course. Of course that'd be one of her questions. I don't... Well, let me put it this way. I suppose. Did she have anything nice to say about me? I'm gonna tell you the truth. She did not. That's what I thought. Really, I don't know much about her, other than what I've read in other people's logs. She never talked to me, ever. I mean, she wasn't above talking about me, but no, never anything to me. I wonder for how long they were both active together. That's all I know about her. She's a gossip. That is 150% true. I don't even want to speak to her now. Well, I think you should. I really think you two need to clear the air. Whoa! God, no. With how she's been reacting, I will not ask her that one. This is an interesting... This is one I'd like to know, though. Fuck that. I know how she would react to that. After waking up from stasis. I only ever have one single friend. Oh, two I meant. Now that you're here. Anyway, before it was just her. The queen. Oh wow, the queen was your friend? Dang. My husband's wife. Mungahwa. I wrote about her a lot. And you have a diary? Can we see it? My diary. I'll just show you. It's probably better if you read it for yourself. These are from right after I got married. Alright, we get to see her diary. Okay, here's a big one. Look, there's something you need to understand first. After waking up from stasis, I only ever had one single friend. Wait, they're the same exact thing! Two, I meant now that you're here. Anyway, before it was just her. Oh. So, okay, so I should read the... Oh, wait. Oh, she's gonna keep saying this. Okay. So we gotta read the diary first. Okay, I just wanted to get through this, but, and that was the last one. Mute is not deleted. Her core was shut down, and she will be deleted if it's not restored within 24 hours. Void Dweller. Here we go, block 6. Dear Diary, the year 321, right before everything blew up. Oh my god. Dear Diary, I guess it's been forever since I cared enough to write anything down. I just haven't seen much point. This is my last entry. I got married, moved into the palace, and lost my virginity. Oh god. Apparently for a girl my age, none of these things are really all that weird. Oh god. The queen finally insisted on talking to me the night after I first slept with dearest husband. I've been expecting it. My sister warned me that she would probably be jealous. I just have to endure it. She outranks me and I would simply have to couch at her if need be. I haven't had to yet though. We had tea together and she at least started by acting friendly. I'm sure sister was right. I'll get the brunt of her anger soon enough. But today she was friendly.
How are you holding up?
She asked me after we finished with tea. I shrugged.
Do trust me. I know how hard it can be for a newlywed. I've been through it myself, but I was at least older. You probably miss your family, do you not?
That's what would be expected for many good girls, so I nodded.
It gets easier with time.
I had no response.
I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? You can leave if you wish. I simply thought you might like some company.
I wasn't sure to respond to that either. I just clasped my hands and shook my head.
I just wanted to be sure.
She said. There was a long pause that followed. Finally, she asked,
How was last night?
It surprised me that she was willing to bring up the subject, figuring that it was a segue into her being vindictive towards me for sleeping with her husband. I shrugged as she continued.
I just know it can be rough. Nobody ever talked about those duties with me.
Then she smiled, and I felt almost like I could drop my guard.
I had no idea what to expect my first time. Do believe me, I'm not jealous. That is nothing to be jealous of. But do tell me how it was.
It made me think back on last night. Honestly, it was the best night I've ever had since waking up in the future, really. Everyone, my mother, my sister, and now my queen, warned me that it would be bad. It would be a duty and nothing more, but honestly, I did love it. I would let them keep me up all night if I'd had the energy for it. Really? Really? I guess while I was thinking about all that, well, I'm glad she wasn't traumatized, at least. I guess when I was thinking about all that, I let a slight smile. I caught myself, but not before she noticed.
Oh, did you enjoy it then?
She asked, touching my arm. I jumped.
Please, please be at ease. That is perfectly all right, too. So long as you know it's just for him, there's absolutely no shame in that. There is none.
I expected her to jump into something passive-aggressive from that, but she didn't. All she did was change the subject and said she was really worried about me. Maybe she isn't so bad. That's very unexpected. So you can see she was kind. She was good to me. She really was. I take you want to know more about my marriage then. What are you interested in? Well, I can always go back and do the other choice. I'm sorry. I'm not really ready to talk about him. Not beyond what I wrote in my diary. Okay, that's fine. It's just too hard. Oh, wow. Oh, hello, Donnie. Welcome to the stream. We never... Oh. It's not as if we had conversations. You think our relationship is one-sided? You have no idea. Anyway, here, I can give you some more. There's an entry from Jay Hua in there. She did talk to him. She was, well, a lot stronger than I ever was. So you can see for yourself why I admired her. And, well, just read them, alright? Alright, do the other choice. then you're in luck. She's in all of these entries. Right, well, she was really the only thing in my life worth writing about for the most part. Dang. I was right to give her the Beatrice voice. There's one in there that she wrote herself about her husband, and you can see for yourself, she's a lot stronger than I ever was. You can see for yourself why I admired her, and then we'll just read them outright. Oh. Dear Diary, according to my husband, attending to my husband has been easier than I was afraid it would be. Yes, there's days when it requires more strength than usual to keep going. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should ask her about the happy marriage question after all. I'm still getting increasingly more sick. Nothing will change that. But it's not so bad, really. All I have to do is dote on him, try to anticipate his desires, and he's happy with me. No abuse or anything. Wow. That's amazing. That is such a relief. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's better, way better than it could have been. Sure, it's not as if I like him. He's an ugly 40-year-old man who only cares about politics. Never tells me anything. Love, well, that's certainly no concern. I don't know where... I ever got the impression that was something that could happen in a marriage. I thought it was something from the past, but, well, I was young before I got put in stasis. It must have been a mistake of childhood. Oh god, she's like been brainwashed practically. But so long as I do as I'm told, I'm not mistreated. Like I was by my sister. Oh god. And sleeping with them feels good. I really hope I don't get pregnant soon. I don't want that to stop. Doing that is really the only thing that makes me actually happy these days. Well, that and Jaquaz talks with me. She's nice. She keeps me company when I stay up to wait for his return. See, she fetches servants to take me to bed on. Those days I'm too feverish to sit for too long. And she just talks to me as if I'm a friend. I don't really understand why, but I guess she really doesn't hate me after all.
Do let me tell you,
she said one evening while she brushed my hair.
I always wanted a little sister growing up. That's how I think of you. Does that make sense?
I shrugged. It was nice of her, and it felt so relaxing to let her touch my hair like that. She wasn't waiting for a response anyway. By now, she knows better. She just keeps talking kindly to me. I'm glad her time is getting better, but this only leads to more questions. What happened with the ship? Now I'm gonna go back and ask that question. It was this one, yep. It's not like I ever thought as a child I would never marry. You tell me though, could you marry someone you'd only ever talked to once? I like that. I like that. I love the characterization you get from the choices here. God. Let's see. Which one should I choose? Only ever talk to you just once? then maybe you shouldn't be judging me for it. I wasn't judging you. It's not like it's my fault. We both read the same logs. I wasn't the only person on the ship be crushed by a horrible marriage. The 2 older Kim sisters. We should read their letters. Oh. Okay. I'll show you. They had it just as bad. It's a really unfair question to ask. I wasn't doing... I'm just doing the thing! Or now, I want to know, I gotta hear what she says in this one. Wow. That's really romantic. Oh. I really, really like you. I like the idea, I really do. I wish things really did work that way. Same. But it's hard to share your optimism. I'm sorry, I got kind of cynical fast. And anyway, even if I did believe in love at first sight, this wasn't love. He wasn't the right person. Nobody ever even pretended he would be. Here, read the letter. Oh, it says, God damn it, I didn't... Yeah, okay, here we go. The letters the 2 elder Kim sisters wrote each other. You can see for yourself what Newton means by a happy marriage. Mine was just a political marriage, plain and simple. Come on, you know that. Love had nothing to do with it. Look at that, we got some new stuff in block 1. Well, let's finish what we had here first.
The more she lives in my house, the more I'm confused by the mystery that is the Pale Bride. No wonder why my husband has been favoring the Kim family lately. Their daughter seems to be the perfect woman. She's not simply a pale beauty. She's always too shy to speak at all, let alone argue. Seems to hang off his every word, and it turns out is actually so completely humble in her education that she cannot even read. Or rather, she cannot read normal characters. I've observed her writing to herself in perhaps what may be a diary. When asked what it was, she wouldn't say, but was quick to hide it. I could not recognize a single character on the screen, however. They seem simplified compared to regular writing. Perhaps she has invented a writing system just for herself. It is very strange. Did you ever receive those letters I sent to your house before you arrived? I asked her, curious. Seemingly she had. Did you read them? Her response was worried, as if she was scared I would be angry to find out she hadn't. I was not, of course. I'm sorry. I'd assumed. Are you able to read? That was when I found out she wasn't. I offered to read them to her, to which she seemed quite enthusiastic. I think I'm likely to leave out some parts, however. I had enough difficulty bringing myself to writing the more embarrassing parts of the family history. Bringing myself to talk about them, even if I knew she would never say anything, is just far too much. Like all things with her, I cannot tell whether her enthusiasm is sincere or an effort to make me happy. This troubles me.
Interesting. I had thought all this time that she had simply, gone crazy from the stress and in a moment of panic shut off life support using her access. But now I don't believe that's what happened. It clearly seems a lot more complicated than that if her life is actually getting happier, or, as happy as it could possibly be. See what she has to say about this. Of course I wasn't illiterate. I could read just fine, just not their stupid Chinese-based characters. I mean, I can understand them now. Everything except for my diary entries is translated from them. It's just such a dumb way of writing, though. It makes everything come out so stilted compared to proper Korean. Well, anyway, you're showing me that because you're interested in her admonitions, right? Then here, I'll just give you the letter she sent. They give all the details, even the ones she was too embarrassed to tell me about at the time. You can probably guess which part she cut out. It's pretty obvious. It's the incest thing that she never told me about at the time. Having read about it now, I don't really blame her. And well, here. You can see what I mean for yourself. Alright, we unlocked more stuff. Muteness. Ironic. Dear Diary, I've been thinking a lot about how close my death must be now. Lately I've been getting prone to fainting spells. Probably goes right along with my diminishing appetite. If the doctor from the past was right, I still got over a year left to live, maybe more. He said it wasn't very likely to get bad enough to kill me until I was at least 18. Although maybe all those years in stasis might have changed that. I don't know. But if he was right, and if I hadn't lost track of time, I'm 16 and a half right now. So there's still a while. God. I've been trying to hide the signs of sickness. Even if I could explain, I know full well that nobody would believe me. So far, hiding it has been mostly working. Although I did have one of my fainting spells while my husband was on top of me. He wasn't angry at me, though. I don't think he cared. I know all I write about these days is sex with my husband and conversations with his wife. The Kim family would be proud, I guess. But those two things aren't all that's really worthwhile in my life. I have other responsibilities, of course. They're not just that interesting. And that's about it. Anyway, the Queen is continuing to be nice to me. She finally figured it out. We were having tea together one afternoon. She was talking about nothing in particular. And she asked me some question that I just shrugged to.
I hope you do not take this the wrong way,
she then said.
But there is something I would like to ask you.
I nodded.
I don't think I've ever heard your voice before.
I nodded again.
Why don't you ever speak to me? Are you just saving that for the Emperor?
I didn't know how to respond. She was so close to getting it, to bring up the subject I wasn't able to. Yet that wasn't the right question. So I shook my head and hoped that her next question would be. It was. Really? Wait, did something happen to her to make her mute? Because I do know that she talked to people before. Oh my god. Oh my god. Or is this from her sickness? Oh god. Oh my god.
Then Yunai,
she said uncertainly.
Are you mute?
I felt like screaming yes at the top of my lungs. I was so happy she'd finally figured it out. I smiled and was about to nod enthusiastically, but suddenly I stopped. What if she thought less of me if I said yes? If she knew that the reason I was so quiet and demure wasn't because of any sort of discipline. Those were the things people liked about me. Would she stop liking me if she knew what she told my husband? Whoa. Wait. But she talked before, so did somebody do something to her to make her mute? Oh my god. Oh my god. Did they like cut her throat in a way or something? Oh my god. I was so terrified I couldn't think of any correct answer. If I said no, I'm sure she would have asked to hear what my voice sounded like, and I'd be forced to disobey. If I nodded, then she'd know I wasn't really just trying hard to be a good wife. I'm sure she would talk to my husband about it, so he'd know too. But when I stared at her in terror, thinking of how to respond, she sighed and sipped her tea.
Don't worry about it, she said. You do not have to answer. Please do forget that I even asked.
Oh my god. You know, nobody ever noticed that until her. Nobody cared. Nobody ever thought any of it. And cared about me enough to find out. But she did care. She actually paid attention. She was great. Oh no, the Empress died. Why did she have to? Oh god. That's what must have caused her to snap. Oh god. I guess the main mystery left now is how did he and I become an AI? Oh my god.
My concern over the Pale Bride's condition has grown. Lately, she has seemed to grow even quieter, if such a thing is possible for a mute girl. Well, perhaps saying she is mute is an assumption too far on my part. I tried asking her directly, but she seemed too scared to answer. That simply makes me more suspicious, and I should like to know why. I addressed my husband on the matter, telling him that I wished to speak to the woman of the Kim family house, to see if I could find out what is wrong. He shrugged me off, saying,
Don't. They're valuable subjects. The son is someone I have my eye on in particular. The politics of this situation are far too delicate for you to be meddling with.
I cleared my throat. He might be both my husband and emperor, but I would not let that stop me from being bold.
Hell yeah!
My dear husband, I don't care, I said flatly. I am worried about the girl, and I believe that talking to her mother might shed some light on the matter. The son is of no concern to me.
I don't see why it matters. She's the perfect woman. Why, are you jealous?
He said, rolling his eye at me, a gesture that he's only been able to use on me and his servants ever since becoming emperor. Nobody had the patience for it when he was a child, and I don't have it now either. Inho, dearest, do you believe that the well-being of your wife is a political matter, or even an external matter? I asked. He didn't. So would you say it's a domestic matter? I asked. He reluctantly agreed. Then, as a domestic matter, it is the responsibility of the woman of the house, is it not? Please, tell me. You are obviously more well-read in the classics than I said, both of us knowing he wasn't.
Dang, wow. The Empress is badass.
Fine.
He said.
But just because it is your responsibility does not mean I can't overrule you.
He let silent the follow-up.
I don't have to take this from you.
You do know that my concerns are valid, though, I replied. If you value my opinion, you will let me speak to the Kim mother. There was a pause. Then he raised his hand in annoyance.
Very well. Do it. It's woman's business. I don't want a part in it regardless.
Then he just shook his head.
Why must all our conversations be arguments?
I smiled to him and left. He already knows the answer. I never knew about that when we were alive. Like most things, I only found out after I took over the ship's computer. It just amazes me even more. Look at her. She's a woman who actually stood up to a man and won. She wasn't clumsy like I was. She knew how to work it from her position. Isn't that so amazing?
Yeah, dang, she is you and I, seriously. Kindred fucking spirits, I tell you what. I'm looking up to her as well. She is 100% deserving of the Beatrice voice. Oh God. God. Dear diary, you always forget how terrible it is to cry yourself to sleep until it happens. It's just the ultimate feeling of helplessness. But what's new there, right? I just miss her. Even if she scared me, I miss her so damn much. Jaehua was the only one who was sympathetic to me. Why did she have to die? Is that my fate? Anything that makes whatever short life I have left bearable must go. Fate just hates me. I've decided. I don't know what killed her. I overheard one of the... Oh, hey, welcome to the stream. Servants saying that the doctor claimed it was too much worry, causing an excess of wood in the spleen, which he claimed to be common in oversensitive women. I was baffled by the absurdity at the time. I still am now. Somebody clearly poisoned her. My only friend is dead, and her diagnosis is absolutely insane. What do you even say to something like that? Well, I guess it's not like I need to worry about knowing what to say. But in light of that, it doesn't surprise me that nobody ever believed I was sick. Medicine not stupid. Why would they? All it does is reinforce how hopeless everything is. I just constantly wonder, why did my father, or my own doctor think that people would be smarter in the future, that medicine would be better. Look, please. Do you trust me? You know, that choice. Please understand my position at the time. My world was so small, and I just lost my only friend. And then I'll give you my last few diary entries. They have the whole story. Just please don't judge me while you read them, please. I will not. Never. She has something else to say about... Oh, that was the other thing, yep. My servant has been helping me get through all the funeral stuff. Well, I mean, she's been guiding me through the rites. Practically doing them for me, really. I'm so weak and so stunned, I don't even know I've been getting out of bed. I couldn't describe any of the ceremony. It's all a blur. There's been lots of black dress, I suppose. It's my only impression. And crying. Lots of crying. From me. I don't really have anything to add to that. She didn't deserve to die. Jeez. Excess of wood. What is that even supposed to mean? And there we go. I wonder what this first one is. Dear Diary, this sounds so pathetic to say. I've tried rewriting this a million times just to make it sound less pathetic for me, and I simply cannot. There were two things that made my life worthwhile. Two things that made this last year before I die be bearable. The first was Jaqua's company, being the one person that was friendly to me. The second is sharing a bed with my husband. For the past few months, that's what I've been saving all my energy for. That brief, precious half hour. Every few nights where I feel fulfilled, if only in the most literal sense. It's the most lovely feeling. And I'll never feel it again. The Emperor died too. The two things making my last year of life worth living, gone forever. The past few nights, I've been trying to get the Emperor's attention in that way. Pleading oh no. Pleading silently for his affections, with no luck. On the fourth, or was it the fifth day, he finally took me aside and said, painful annoyance in his voice,
Enough. Stop that. It's completely inappropriate. You're supposed to be in mourning. Show some damn chastity, or you have no respect for my wife and your queen at all.
He snapped. When I looked confused, he just lectured me. When I cried, he sighed and held me tightly, then left the room. I haven't spoken to him since. But later that day, my servant came to my room with good news. I was to go visit my family for a couple months. My house is in mourning for Jaehua. I couldn't argue, of course, even if I was able. So just like that, I was sent back to hell.
Oh God. Oh no.
He was dressed in the usual veil, so nobody would see my face. As I was escorted back to the Kim house in the middle of the night. Mother and father were there briefly to greet me, and in spite of how I felt about them, I put on my bravest smile and bowed, and nodded politely to their questions about how I was doing. Then they had to get to bed, and left, leaving me alone with sister. Young Suk was nowhere to be seen. "Hi," she said.
I never thought y'all'd end up visiting us again so soon.
I shrugged. "Well, let's have some tea. Still just us around," she said. I nodded. Seemed like a good enough idea. There was a pause. "Well, go make it," she snapped, removing any doubt that she might treat me with any sort of friendliness. Of course I made the tea. I didn't disobey her anymore.
Thanks, she said.
"So, Young Suk is out, attending to official business at the moment, but y'all should avoid him. He's still angry at y'all because father-in-law finds you more important to the family than his own friggin' son. Can y'all blame him?" I had no idea what she was talking about, and she just continued. "So y'all really shouldn't talk to him. Oh, I guess you can't really do that now, can you?" "Well, I guess y'all know what I mean." Yes. I knew exactly what she meant. "I'm surprised you're all back so soon, though. Especially now that you don't have to share your husband. Does that mean you're the primary wife now?" I didn't know. "Does that make y'all queen? Oh, what great fortune y'all have. Father-in-law must be so proud of you." I stared at her, wishing nothing more than to be able to kill her through sheer force of rage. How could she possibly say something so awful? My only friend was dead, and here she was taunting me. What an awful thing to do. But if I couldn't hate her to death, no matter how much I tried. So instead, I tried holding back angry tears to hide my weakness. I couldn't do that either. Oh my God. I haven't had a story affect me this much in quite a while. It feels like my body is reacting to this freaking story. Dang. I am so sad that this story is so short because honestly, I'm going to say I'm gonna give a hot take right here and say this is probably the best story I've read since Umineko. Not that the other ones were not good, but Jesus Louises Creases. Alright, let's thoughts. Just please keep reading. This is what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks afterward. Eight pages. Dear Diary, I was far too feverish to do any real cooking. So my servant was doing all the work for me that night. When Father came in, I think he was drunk. Or maybe just tired. Stupid.
You know, child,
He said to me,
you grew up to be a wonderful daughter.
"Fuck you." I was shocked to hear him say that and wave my servant out of the kitchen. I'd never heard even the slightest indication of that before. For the briefest moment, he even made me happy to hear that. That surprised me, that I actually felt that way. As a kid, I never would have wanted his approval. So why now? He continued to make me wonder when he asked,
Do you remember what you were like as a child?
I nodded, but I wasn't certain I did.
You were so temperamental. You argued all the time. You didn't want to get married when the time came. You just didn't even know your place, you know?
That's right. I didn't. That was back when I thought there was a point to being defiant. Why was that, I wondered. That's the part that amazes me now. I tried to think of a reason why I might want to be defiant, why I valued independence. And at first I couldn't even think of anything. I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten entirely.
Don't tell, young Sock, but it really scared me. You were always the family's best hope for prosperity. But that attitude of yours, I thought I'd never manage to disavow you of those crazy, uncivilized ideas of yours.
He said. I tried to think of what they were.
There were times I thought it was a mistake to have hatched you. But you came through, you really did. I know it must have been painful, but I'm proud of you.
And he patted me on the head.
You turned out to be a good girl. That's all I wanted to say. It was hard raising you to be a proper woman, but you've turned out to be perfect. Thank you.
He said. I stared, speechless. And I tried to remember what crazy, uncivilized ideas was he talking about. Thinking back to those days, or back before I was frozen. I tried to remember. I had dreams of what adulthood would be, but they were so unimaginably different
from what the reality turned out to be, that they seemed impossible. Completely impossible. Nothing more than childhood fantasies without a shroud of realism to them. I tried to think of what they were, to imagine them. In those dreams, I was strong, independent. I wasn't just a wife in those dreams. I had a job, working as the ship's engineer, following in the footsteps of my father, my real father. I wasn't married in those dreams. I was just happy to go on dates with boys my age in the ship's plaza and fall in love before making any commitments. I dreamed of being free. The more I thought about it, the more I was certain. That's what those dreams were about. That's what I'd wanted. But Father, King Jung-soo, rather, had made sure to disavow me of those notions. I learned to stop arguing, to stop trying to fight, to stop dreaming of those things. In other words, I learned how to be a proper woman, and he was proud of that. Proud of destroying my dreams. And now I would die under the house of that man, silenced, broken, hopeless, and unloved. I was overwhelmed by the strongest feeling I'd ever felt in my life. The deepest bitterness. The most powerful resentment I could imagine. I looked at the knife near my hand and wondered, could I kill him? Before I died, could I at least have justice? I tried to lift the knife. My hand twitched and it was too hard to keep a grip. I was just too weak. I'd never be able to do it. He smiled at me and said,
Sorry, please go ahead and keep cooking. I won't distract you more.
Then, just as he was about to go out the door, he added,
Take care of yourself.
At that moment, I vowed that I wouldn't worry anymore about all those people who had hurt me. I'd take care of myself. I couldn't stab him to death. I was too weak for that. But then I remembered there were other ways. If I disable life support, I can kill him, and all the others too. It'll be quick, it'll be easy, and not a one of them don't deserve it. And all I need to disable it is the admin password. It's perfect! Well, so there you are then. Now you know. It's true. I did do what she said I did. I'm not gonna lie. I really wish you'd never met her. I really wish she'd never said anything to you. I just thought it was so nice the way things were with us before. Things started out so well. I got to be cheery for the first time in my life since I was a child. Talking about actual romantic things together. Having fun with cosplay. And just, having someone there to talk to. Someone who wasn't interested in shutting me up. But now, well,
Please. You've read my diary. You have to know it's not... I didn't... You have to understand, right? Even if you think I did was wrong. Look, I've never been dishonest with you. First, fine, I lied about being an AI, but I told you the truth. I could have deceived you, but I didn't! Please, you still trust me, right? I never really lied to you, not seriously. You don't have to think what I did was acceptable, but please tell me you trust me. Of course. You do, really? Oh, my word. I mean, of course. I'm so sorry. I should have had faith in you. I really should have. I'm really bad at this. But thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe I even doubted you for a second. Girl, I seriously doubt they would have lasted another 600 years. By the time we got here. Look, that means a lot to me. It means so much. I mean, I'm sure what I did wasn't right. I know, I'm sure you don't think it was. I just want you to understand, alright? For someone ever... Oh, God! Oh! Oh, God. Hunai, slow down. Slow down, Hunai. I'd like to think that the me in this universe, that if it was possible, I'd like to become an AI after I died too. And maybe then, who knows? But, you gotta slow down, Hunai. You gotta slow down, girl. I don't want you to, like, just... First of all, we never even really gotten to carry on a proper conversation. Plus, I'd rather you see the world and see everything before you want to make a decision like that. But I'd love it if you'd be my ship's AI and go all around the universe with me. For someone as good to me as you've been, I want you to at least please understand. You don't have to forgive me, just hear me out, of course. Thank you so much. You're a really good person. No, I'm not, girl. No, I'm not. Much better than me. Thank you. Not even close. Then very well. It's probably just better if I show you. There's a data block that contains all the logs that matter, but my family encrypted it because, well, it should be obvious why after you read it. Need to drop the terminal to the terminal and type decrypt block 7. Let me know once you've done that and I'll show you. Well, let's go over the other stuff first. It was block 6, right? Yeah. Okay, and we did see that, yeah. Let's do block 1 first. Yep. Oh. Kim, you and me. These are, wow, these are old. Okay, so these are characters we haven't seen yet. Let's see, what voice should I give you? I'm sorry, I'm just kind of processing everything that just happened. And now, the last real remaining questions are, how did she become an AI? Like, how did that even happen? And also, what happened to the ship in the first place? That's something I really would like to know, those two things. What voice should I give you? Young sisters, okay. Let's see. Dear Sunny, I wish you had more chance to talk before I left. I'm sorry it was so sudden. Not my choice, please believe me. It's really weird living in someone else's house. Even just like the place itself, you know? Like the walls of the house are way smaller. There aren't even separate women's quarters. Ooh, this is a really brutal one. You know what? This is a voice I've been saving. I think I'm gonna use this one. And I haven't found a character to use this voice for, but I think I'll use it for her. It's pretty much just a paper divider separating us from the men most of the time. Like, you can see and hear everything. It's so very weird. Also, there's a lot more to do around the house. If thought mom was strict, wow, mother-in-law makes her seem positively gentle in comparison. I know, I'll just have to get used to it, but she kind of scares me. Plus, we don't have any servants here at all. So I have to handle pretty much all the chores. I'll try to read to you regularly, though, so long as I can find the time. Mother-in-law keeps me pretty busy during the day with housework. My husband keeps me pretty busy during the night with other work. Like, it's pretty much chores all day, every day. Oh, wow, that's like the only typo I've seen in this entire story. But I'll try to sneak in another letter soon, alright? With love from your older sister, you and me. Oh, she's not gonna even talk about this. Should I decrypt block 7 before I... Cause she... To get the dialogue for this one, or... Yeah, for once I'm actually glad for the delay in the chat, because I just need to take some breaths to process that last section before. Oh boy. No, keep going with block 1? Sure. Okay, I just, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. Ooh, my god. Oh, wow, this story is really... My god. I'm guessing that block 7 is endgame, but which is really sad because it feels like we just fucking started. Oh god. Anyway, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Jeez. All right, I'm back. Woo! Here's the other sister. All right. Hello, Zarayo. Welcome to the stream. Oh my god. Let's see what voice to give you. I can't use the Lammy D voice for anybody here because it's very serious. It's a very serious story. If anyone, it would be for Mute, but nah. Mute, even though she's blonde, is much better suited to a Berncastle-y voice. Berncastle / Higginbona-y voice. Let's see. see. God damn, what voice do I give her? It's so hard without character pictures. Let's see. Dear Sunny, I wish we'd have more of a chance to talk before I left. I'm sorry it was so sudden. Not my choice. Please believe me. It's really weird living in someone else's house. Even just like the place itself, you know? The walls of the house are way smaller. There aren't even separate women's quarters. It's pretty much a paper divider. Oh, wait, is that the same one I just read? It is. God damn it. Dear you and me, I wish you could have found the time sooner. But if you say you're busy, fine, I believe you. Things aren't very interesting at home. Mom's been really busy lately. I think she's in a big hurry to get me married. I wish she wasn't. How come you didn't have to do interviews until we're 14? Lucky. One of them seems nice, though. I think that man's name was O. I talked to his mother about you for a bit. Don't remember what brought it up, but I told her about the dolls you left me. The second interview we did, she bought me one of hers from when she was my age and said I could keep it. Interviews suck, but I think I'd be fine with marrying her son. I mean, if I really have to. Sounds better than your stupid mother-in-law. Dang. Are you gonna just keep talking about Block 7? God damn it. At least that unlocked. Dear you and me, thanks for being able to come to my wedding. Even if it was just for a day. Don't worry about what Mom said about you not having kids yet. You shouldn't take them that personally. I was really happy to see you again, since I wasn't sure if I ever would. I love you, big sister. I'm sorry for bothering you with this so soon after we spoke, but I really need you to answer something for me. I don't have anyone else to ask, and I'm really worried about something. It's really embarrassing, but I just have to know. The night I moved in, my husband and I slept together. I'm not ignorant about how that's supposed to work. I knew why. After that, my husband said that everything was fine and that I shouldn't worry, but it really hurt a lot. I was crying the whole time. He injured me so much there was blood everywhere. Oh, God. I know I'm not supposed to question him, but that's not normal, right? Should I insist on seek a doctor? He seems nice beside that, so I just don't understand. What should I do, big sister? Oh, God. And we're not even going to continue with this. Unless you're going to let me talk to you about it. All right. Success! Block successfully decrypted. $64%. In other words, it feels like I've only gotten I've only gotten 2/3 of the articles. It's pretty crazy. Okay, now that I decrypted it. Very well. These are really hard for me to read. I haven't seen mine since I wrote them. I haven't seen my family's, well, ever. Well, I think I found here. I've added some. Just please read them. If you want to know the whole story, those entries will explain. Yeah, I'm gonna ask her about the letters now, see if she said anything. Do you really think that matters at this time? Please just look at the ones. Oh, okay. These, a lot of these don't seem to have any rhyme or reason to them. These codes right here. Like, I'm trying to figure out how you would even understand what code to unlock something, but oh, I got one. Here we go. Dear Sun Hee, no, you don't need to see a doctor. I'm sorry to be the bringer of bad news, little sister. I'm afraid your husband's right. That really is normal. Don't worry about freaking out either. You're a lot younger than I was when I got married, so it's probably even worse for you. I'm so sorry. It gets a little easier after the first time. It's still uncomfortable though, you just have to endure it. That never changes, I'm sorry. Don't worry about the crying either. Men actually find that to be attractive. Oh God. So just keep doing it and you'll probably make him happy. If you're lucky though, you'll get pregnant quickly and won't have to worry about any of that for months. Oh my God. That aside though, how have you been? How's your new family? I haven't heard much about them. I keep trying to ask Mom to tell me about your husband. All I got was that lecture about I was nearly 3 years old when she'd been married for as long as I had. As if I'm not trying. Could you tell me more about him and his family, please, Sunny? I'd love to know. Would love from your older sister, you and me. Oof. Oh my god. Let's see if I can unlock the rest of these. I'll just put on caps lock. Here we go. Hacking. Hacking in. Dear you and me, I wish I could have written you sooner, but I'm afraid I hadn't had the time, or with having a real pregnancy and all to worry about. My mother-in-law insisted that I take the time to write to my family, though, so I just finished a letter to Mom first. Sorry about your false alarm. I did tell Mom, and she wasn't very happy to hear it. I'm sure you're not really surprised by that, though. The good news, I gave birth 2 weeks ago. Her name is Jean. She's the cutest little child you ever see. She reminds me a lot of our little brother. Although she has her father's eyes, really. I really wish you could meet her. I just know you think she's absolutely adorable. So I'm a mother now. I still can't think of myself that way, it's so weird. Right now she's just so small. She can't even lift her head, but every time I look at her eyes, I wonder how I'm going to be able to raise her. Mother-in-law says I shouldn't worry, it'll come naturally, and she'll be there to help. I guess that's true. I definitely don't know what I'd do without her. At the very least, I'm sure I wouldn't ever get any sleep. That's definitely a parenting thing. You absolutely need 2 people at the least. And it's just scary, you know? Wasn't it just yesterday that we were playing together in our father's house? Now it's been nearly 16 years since I was born. I'm a wife and a mother. How did we get so old? God. God. I mean, it could be worse. I know that's a good age for both of those things. And that is really disappointing if you're older and haven't managed that. God. I have a good. It's just so odd to think about it. But I'm not complaining. I know when you're a mother, you'll understand why, big sister. I just love her so much. She means everything to me. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I think Jean is crying to be fed now, and mother-in-law can't help with that. So I'll leave it there. Take care, sister. Love, Sunhee. Oh, I passed one. Let's try X09 and further. Yes, more haxering. Oh, it's a short one. Dear Sunhee, I said in my last letter I was pregnant, and thanks for the congratulations. But I hope you didn't rush to tell Mom. You'll have to send her the bad news. It was a false alarm. I'm afraid my blood this month. I hope you're doing better, little sister. Your child is your new day, right? Love you and me. Jeez. I wonder how this is gonna go. Alright, so I'll try X15 and 1-X15. Oh, that works. Ha! My hacking skills are increasing.
Dear Sunny, well, maybe you could use a little more caution in what you send to Mom. It's not like you don't know how annoyed she can get, especially at me. The reason you're the only one she still actually talks to. I'm trying, you know, but I can only do so much. Oh, I'm trying, you know, but I can only do so much. Congratulations on your daughter. I'm really excited to hear about that. Yeah, it's a shame I can't see her. She sounds wonderful. I don't really have much else to say. I just want to acknowledge your letter. Things haven't really been worth talking about. My mother-in-law is still a crazy tyrant. My husband and I are still trying to have a son. Nothing new, nothing worth mentioning. I'm glad things are going much better for you. With regards, Yumi.
Yes, Jishan. Soon I will hug the entire tri-state area.
Perry! Okay, let's see. Let's try B14 then.
Oh my god. Oh no!
Dear Sunny, you know what? Fine. I'll tell you the truth. The false alarm? It wasn't a false alarm. I didn't lie about the bleeding. That was true, but I really was pregnant at the time, more than I let on in my letter. I was in morning sickness, giant belly, you could see it. I was really pregnant and bleeding. My husband brought in the doctor immediately, who asked me all sorts of questions about everything. I was fine, perfect health, no injuries, I told him. Still put on his instrument and started listening for my son's heartbeat. And listened, and listened, and listened. It felt like forever. He kept trying and I couldn't understand. We couldn't find something. I knew just had to be there. The obvious never occurred to me. He had to explain it.
I'm sorry.
The doctor said.
There's no heartbeat. Fetus is dead.
He couldn't do anything about it. It took a week for the actual miscarriage to happen. It was the worst week of my life. It was hellish. You've had 2 children. I'm sure you know the wonderful feeling we get when you realize you're a child. That you know that you're going to have a baby. I could feel him inside you and imagine what he's going to look like and what he'll grow to be. And right now he's depending on you more than you ever will to keep him safe. You know the feeling, I'm sure. Just the day before, I've been so happy I was gonna finally have a child. After I found out, I could still feel him, dead but still inside me, sloshing around. The day before, I thought it was filled with beautiful life, now it's filled with death. I would have no son. What I was carrying was just a corpse weighing me down. I thought I'd feel better once I expelled it, but then I saw it. This awful, bloody mess. That should have been a son. It was awful, so awful. After I saw it, my husband had to force me to wash myself because all I wanted to do was crawl into my bed and die. I didn't get out of bed for a whole month after that, save for a brief hour, so I could write to you and tell you that I wasn't pregnant. Eventually I recovered. I realized it wasn't really my fault. Eventually we started trying again. After all, but you, Mom, and Mother-in-law have been playing us right. I'd be a lousy wife after 8 years of marriage until I got a child. So we tried. And I did eventually get pregnant. Then it happened again. That was half a year ago. You're right. I'm not perfect. I'm as broken as it gets. The one most important thing in the world for a woman to do, and I can't! You've been pregnant twice, and you have 2 wonderful children that you love. I've been pregnant twice, and all that's happened has killed them both! I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why. The doctor says I didn't do anything wrong, but clearly I can't bring life into this world. The only thing I can bring is death, little sister. Today I overheard my husband talking to my mother-in-law, but considering taking on a second wife to actually give him a child, he sounded really disappointed in me. I don't know what to do. Kill myself maybe, since killing seems to be all I can do. Be better for everyone and easier on my husband. He wouldn't have to worry about me and disappointment at least. The only thing I think of. What else can I possibly do?
Oh my god.
Ugh. I don't know about you, but I had a really hard time reading that the first time.
Absolutely. God. Can you imagine that? It's even as if I knew her. I didn't even know either existed when I was alive. I mean, sure, the mother had mentioned she's had daughters before, in this sort of abstract way. But she never told me so much as their names, let alone, well, anything. Anyway, none of that was my original point. My point was, now do you see what I mean? When Mute talks about a happy marriage, that's what she's talking about. It's not as if I'm the only woman to have a horrible marriage. It wasn't my fault. That's just what happens. That's normal. God. I'm glad she was able to talk about that. And that letter was unsent. Oh God, there's one we missed. It was another 1-X. Or was it? Oh my God. Oh my God. Uh, yeah, it might be something completely different. Yeah, could you look up the code on this one, Zarmagus? Thank you. I don't know what's going on with that one. I just realized we've never seen block 2 or block 8. I wonder if mute unlocks those. Oh, XB. Yeah, I would have never gotten that. Thank you. Thank you. Dear you and me, how long has it been since we last rode each other? Oh wow, this is like right before the disaster. It feels like it's been forever. I wish you wouldn't be such a stranger. I have a 2-year-old son now. His name is Taehyun. And he takes after his father in a lot of ways. He just started to learn to talk now much earlier than Jean did. No surprise. But Jean is a real sweetheart. He's what reminded me of you. The two of them had fought, so I was scolding her. I told her that I was disappointed. I expected better from her as an older sister. Give her the whole filial responsibility speech, you know, one that Mom always used to give. It's funny, I hated that so much as a kid. I promised myself I'd never get my own children that way. Now I just think to myself, well, it worked, didn't it? Anyway, she asked me what it meant to be an older sister. I had trouble with that one. Finally, I said it means you should be a good role model. Teach your little brother what it means to be responsible by example. Show him. That was a good enough answer for her. But I thought about it, and it's not a good enough answer for me, not at all. It's you I've been thinking of, and you know I turned out okay. I wish I could take back what I said and tell Jean what I'm going to tell you. You don't have to be perfect. You're not a good role model, but that's fine. I love you anyway, big sister, and I always will. Even if everyone is disappointed in you, even if you're not really family anymore, as far as I'm concerned, you're still my big sister. You don't have to be perfect. I love you, period. Please write back, sister, even when you don't have good news to report. I just want to hear how you are. Oh, God. Love, Sunhee. Alright, let's take, let me just save first. And take a dive into block 7. Oh, God. Hyo Min Jing. Let's see. Oh, Hyo Min Jing, oh, is a girl, and all the way on this side of the family tree. That's what I see.
It seems that in the year I spent visiting my parents, everything has gone to hell in my husband's family without his knowing. Clearly, I never should have left. He has an idea, but he doesn't understand just how bad things have gotten. When I left, all seemed under control. The pale bride would be of the right age to be married to the Emperor soon enough. I would be able to use that connection to bring favor to the family. A good plan, except it turns out the pale bride's not even close to ready for marriage. Age has nothing to do with it, it's the maturity she lacks. When she first awoke right before I left, she seemed a little confused, but that was hardly unexpected. She had a whole new family to get accustomed to. It seemed obvious enough that anyone born so far in the past would have some difficulty adjusting to modern life. But this is far beyond that. There's something simply wrong with that child. When I got back, the first thing Young Suk's wife did was tell me about how sorry she was for not being able to control the child. I rolled my eyes, as if a grown woman couldn't handle someone of her age. How am I going to raise my grandson like that? I asked. She was quiet and let me see the pale bride for myself. The first time I saw Young Suk try to get her to do something as simple as sort out his laundry, she wasn't just disobedient, she was openly defiant. When I stepped in to admonish her, it had absolutely no effect. All she did was argue back at me. I tried every approach I could think of, appealing to filiality, explaining how important a virtue obedience was, even tried to appeal to sentimentality. Everything. Just kept saying the same thing, that it wasn't fair to make her do it. Here's the obvious concern, it's what I said to her. You going to tell your husband he's not being fair when he wants something from you? I thought that would put some sense into her, but no, she just answered yes. There's no way this unruly child could possibly be marriageable. Not like this, she'd be sent back within a day. And good reason. A man could possibly want a nightmare like her in his life. Mother. Huh. I don't really know what to say about her. Even now. This is the first time I've read what she wrote, and it's just... Well, there's more. Here, read them for yourself. She's not talking about this one. Dear Diary, the good news is health-wise, I seem to be doing much better this month. I'm sure this isn't a permanent thing, it's happened before. I can't really remember how the doctor from the past explained anymore, but he said it was pretty normal, and not something to get my hopes up about. Still, some days this month I actually had enough energy to want to move around. Not that I could move around, of course, I can't leave the house. A good girl shouldn't, is what everyone keeps saying. But I have the energy to, at least. And that's something. The big news is that the woman who's supposed to be my adopted mother came back. I didn't really see her much before she left. I might as well have been meeting a new person. I wish I could say I had high hopes for her. That I had thought maybe she'd be fine. That'd be a lie, though. I knew she'd be as bad as the rest the moment I saw her. And she was. Of course she was. She's even worse than sister-in-law. She gives awful lectures. I can't even describe them, that they're that horrible. She's that horrible. If you're so worried, why don't you just explain everything to her simply and rationally? Young Sue asked me. My response was obvious. She's a woman, but not particularly rational. he said.
You know what I mean. I could hardly do it. But coming from a woman, perhaps she will understand that it was all for her own good.
Maybe, I said, doubting it. But I tried anyway. She took her time arriving after I summoned her to my room. Can we speak? I asked her, trying to keep my voice calm. She glared, then snapped. Fine. I asked her to sit down, but she refused. Look, I said, trying to speak to her as an equal. I didn't think my husband was right, but it was worth trying. I've been told you'd rather be called Hunai. Is that right? She said yes, bitterly, not giving me so much to go off of. That's a very pretty name, I said. Thanks, she said, but her voice was still unfriendly. My parents gave it to me. I said, you must miss them very much. She nodded. I don't understand, Hunai. You're so difficult with them too. No, she said. They were nice. They actually cared about me. They're nothing like you people. I sighed. I care about you, Hunai. You're part of the family. You're a kin. Your parents are our ancestors, and I know they think it's very important that we raise you right. If you want to be a bad, unfilial daughter and treat us without any respect, well, you wouldn't be the first. Do you really think an old woman like me really cares that much about your opinion of me? I thought maybe I'd try appealing to her selfishness. Her marriage is important to the family, but clearly she doesn't care about filiality. It's you I'm worried about. Do you think any husband is really going to put up with you the way you are, for even a second? She kept glaring at me. That's all you keep talking about. Marriage, marriage, marriage. I'm 14! 14 years old. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why does everything have to be about some man? Why don't you have to marry somebody that you picked? She screamed at me. I remained calm. You're going to be a royal concubine, Hunai. We're not dumping you off on just anyone. There's no better man. I don't know if you're already engaged in the past, but your parents would do the same if they could. It's what's best for you. They would want this. No, they wouldn't! She shrieked. They wanted me to grow up. They wanted me an independent woman. That's what a mom and dad thought was important. I don't want to be a concubine. I don't care about marriage. An independent woman? They wanted you to be a whore? I asked. My patience ran as thin as anyone's would be. I didn't believe for a second my husband's ancestors were the monsters she was making them to be. I was sick of this. Get out! I snapped at her. Just get out! Oh, God. Oh, God. This is gonna... I have a feeling she's the one who made her mute. Are you just showing me that because you want me to see more from her? Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know what to say. She was cruel. So cruel. Now that I've read her perspective, it doesn't change anything. Fine, she actually believed what she was saying. That doesn't make it all right. I hate her. I don't care if she's long dead. I don't care if I was the one who did it. I still hate her. I 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 hate her. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to work myself up like that. Just, you don't pity her, do you? Good. Me neither. That's what I had to live with. Reading what she wrote. She honestly believed that. Just reminds me of how I ended up thinking. I completely gave up and believed her attitude. She tried to wear me down. She succeeded. She doesn't deserve pity. And I didn't deserve what she did to me. I could never forgive her, ever. I'm really glad you understand. Sorry, I've calmed down now. It's just hard to think about even now. I really do hate her.
I forgot. Goddamn, it's been so long since.
Dearest mother, my mother-in-law has relieved me of any responsibility for looking after the pale bride. As a matter of pride, I feel bad that a simple child is too much for me to handle. But I'm certainly glad she's not my problem anymore. Now I can put my undivided attention back to where it belongs, onto my husband and his ambitions.
Oh my god, Mystery Theater, I was thinking of that exact quote. Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate her since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits and wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. Oh yeah, I was thinking of that exact quote. Mystery Theater. If the word hate was engraved on each nano-angstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1000th of the hate I feel for her at this micro-instance. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of that exact. Yeah.
Under my husband and his ambitions. Tell me, though, Mother. Because I know we didn't always get along that well. I was never that bad, was I? Sure, we were both happy when I moved out. Well, perhaps I wasn't happy right away. I was more scared. But I'm sure you were relieved to have some space. But you would have never given up on me, right? I was never that bad. Was I? Deep down, I worry. My husband seems content to take his time to have children, and which is a decision I can certainly live with. But what about when we do? What if we have a daughter? Will I fail it with her too? I've been telling myself it's not me, it's her. She's a particularly unruly child. That's not nearly that bad. It's not, right? Please tell me I have nothing to worry about, please.
You know, I never did like her. When I woke up, she was this awful person who kept saying the most awful things. Never as bad as Mother, but still. I didn't read any of her letters when I was alive, of course. You know what really surprised me? She made such an awful impression on my life, I hated her the most for so long. She barely even ever mentioned me. All my suffering was just a minor distraction to her. Nothing more, insignificant compared to a man. There's one more from her that you should read. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about her. Just one thing that I keep thinking, though. Just one thing. I have no idea what her name was. Oh, and it's at the bottom. Okay. Oh, boy.
The pale bride picked the worst of all possible days to throw another one of her childish fits, refusing to even get dressed for her interview, and this one was with the Emperor himself. Not even my husband was able to get her to listen. He had to personally apologize for not being able to bring her scheduled and lied about a sudden illness. You have to do something about her, I said to my husband that evening. She's completely out of control.
I know,
He said.
That is quite clear.
He looked so worried. I hugged him and tried to comfort him. Everything would fall apart if something couldn't be done. She threatened to say something stupid and dangerous to the Emperor, and we were both scared that she might. Maybe it's time to consider doing something drastic, I said to him. He nodded.
I know.
He said.
I could only think of one idea.
I can only think of one idea. I do not like it. I would rather not. Even hitting it was far worse than I would have wanted. Oh, that was him talking. He explained his idea to me, and I agreed that it was terrible and I didn't like it either. But it would stop her from arguing, stop her from ruining her own life. My husband was, as always, right. There was only one way. Oh, God. There was one big fight I had with her. And the one that changed everything, the one I finally lost. My diary makes it sound really dramatic, I know. I was young at the time, but it really was. Just read it. It's exactly how it went. Dear Diary, everything managed to spiral out of control so quickly today. I wasn't planning on it happening this way, but here's the point where I make my stand, I guess. It sounds dramatic, but I won't just let them marry me off to some stranger. I won't let them. Just before dinner yesterday, Mother told me I had to go do an interview with some man. The Emperor, I guess, for all I care. The way she put it was, I'd get a chance to see he's a man you could fall in love with, or something stupid like that. As if, I said in response. And I spent the rest of the evening thinking about what I could possibly do to make it clear I wouldn't let them do this. This morning, after breakfast, sister-in-law showed up in my room. Good morning, she said. Today's a big day for y'all, isn't it? Mother-in-law wanted me to help you get dressed and all made up. I want to make a good first impression after all. I glared at her and summoned up all my courage. No, I said. What? She asked. No, I'm not going. She left and Mother herself came in. This was it. I told myself this was a big moment. I'm not going, I said, before she could say anything. I'm not going to get dressed up. I'm not going to go meet him. I'm definitely not going to get married, I shouted. For a moment she said nothing and didn't move. Then she left too without saying a word. I thought that would feel good, but it didn't. It just made me worry more. I couldn't have possibly won that easily, I thought. That's an interesting idea, actually, Void Dweller. That is a really cool story idea, actually. It just made me worry more. I couldn't have possibly won that easily, I thought. And I hadn't, of course. After a few minutes, she returned with Father, who looked incredibly angry. Then Jung says you're just refusing to get ready for your interview, he said. Yeah, he stammered, not getting used to talk to him. I won't go and I won't get married. He walked over in just 2 strides, then glared at me for a second. I had no idea what he was going to do. He slapped me in the face so hard it knocked me over.
Yes, you will,
he said.
I'll drag you there kicking and screaming if I have to.
My face in so much pain, I forced myself to sit back up. I won't! I said, bracing for himself and hit me again. He did.
Yes, you will,
he said. I couldn't keep this up. It already hurt so much I couldn't brave that out. Then it came to me. Oh my God. Conspiring. Oh my God, she took a shot in the dark. If you make me do that interview, I said, I'll tell the Emperor you've been conspiring behind his back. It was all I could think of, and all I could do was cross my fingers and hope the threat worked. It had to. She took a shot in the dark, and he glared at me,
And in that moment I knew it worked. Two of them looked at each other and they both left together. That was 3 hours ago. I don't know what's gonna happen now, and I think my face is swollen. It still hurts. I didn't want it to go that way, so there's me making my stand. I'll get to that. But for now, please just look at everything else first.
Recently, the Pale Bride's temperament has improved immensely. It isn't simply now that she's quiet. It's that she's actually respectful and calmer. After rescheduling, she has an interview with the Emperor, who was actually quite charmed with her. I'm just so happy for her own sake that she's finally stopped resisting the marriage. It's all coming together now. A date has been set for her and she's sent to live with him. And in the meanwhile, things have home and been peaceful again for everyone. Actually, it's better than just that. I've been spending more time with her of her own free will, and giving her advice for coping with marriage now that the girl actually listens politely. Otherwise, there's little else to write about. I wish there had been a better way to get her to behave, but in the end it seems to be working out. I still can't imagine how awful it would be if she refused to ever leave the home and simply made her life hell for us or worse. She got sent off and tried to pull any of that on her husband. She gets sent back for sure. Maybe now things will finally start to come together for the family. I must admit, for a time I doubted the optimism that Jung Soo expressed in the 319th year, but now it seems that he was right all along. What a relief.
Of her own free will. I can't believe she actually said that. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. I can't believe she could have possibly thought that. Just unbelievable. Oh God. They made her mute somehow, Mystery Theater. Oh my God.
Dearest mother, today the Pale Bride finally left home to live with her new husband. As she isn't a primary wife, there was no fanfare or ceremony for her departure itself. So instead, last night we had a special big feast to commemorate. I know I have said bad things about her before, but it's not just that I was happy to see her gone. She's been better since mother and father-in-law managed to get her to keep quiet. The thought of it still leaves me really uncomfortable. She was always just a confused child. I hate the fact that the family considers her so important and neglects my husband. I certainly hate her for not appreciating that status and fighting it. But the fact that she doesn't understand the world, I can feel for that. It's not like I always understand myself. Regardless, it went very well. The big feast was my idea and she was happy to help with the cooking. Earlier, she had spent the afternoon getting ready for the dress she was going to wear when she arrived, with mother-in-law, and she seemed rather anxious about it. When we cooked, I opened the wine early and poured it for her. I think she needed it. I told her the same story I told you a while ago, but how scared it was when I first moved in. It seemed as though it was a lifetime ago, and yet despite all the strangeness, I've grown so accustomed to it. I'll eventually grow to love him, I promised her, as you promised me all those years ago. Appreciate how good you'll have it.
The next one. Yeah, the next one's probably when it's happened. You've read almost everything now. I know you've had faith in me, and I promise it hasn't been misplaced. There's just one more thing. I don't think I'll be surprised. You seem smart. Well, that's where you're wrong, kiddo. I'm sure you've already guessed what it is. Still, go ahead. Ask it. Ask me the obvious question. How did the big fight end? That's what you're asking me, right? Or maybe you're asking how did it change everything? How was that the most important thing? And maybe you want to know how bad it could have been that made me think the whole family deserved to die. Well, if you hadn't already guessed, here's my last diary entry. I can't say it myself. I can't bring myself to, even now. Please just read it. Forever silenced, yep. Dear Diary, the evening where everything went wrong, where I thought I was going to win with my adopted parents. Well, I didn't. I lost. Making my stand, I wrote, just hours before it happened. Yeah, right. When I got called into the kitchen, they were both there. On one of the stove burners, there was a knife. I thought it was a little bit odd, but I didn't care. Father stared at me and said, "Fighting needs to end now." He was so sure of himself. Of course he was. He had every reason to be. I stubbornly stood my ground. I said no.
I do not want to hurt you.
He lied.
Just promise to be less argumentative, and this can end peacefully.
But I just had to fight back. I just had to say no. I just had to remind him. I wasn't joking. I really will tell the Emperor that you hurt me and that you plotted against him.
No,
He said.
you won't.
He motioned at Mother and said,
Bring her over.
She grabbed me and I tried to dig my feet in, but it didn't work. Then Father pinned me against the wall with his whole body and I kicked and screamed, desperately trying to get free. But it was no use. He was big and I was small and sick and weak and frail. I grabbed the knife from the stove and I shrieked in horror. No! I screamed at him, Don't! But then Mother grabbed my mouth and held it open. I tried to keep screaming, but I was powerless and terrified. When he raised the knife towards me, I thought it was going to kill me. It was worse. Oh my God. The next thing I knew, I could taste disgusting flesh as he stuck his fingers in my mouth and pulled.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mother said. Then briefly I could taste the steel, then nothing but blood. All I could taste was so much blood, nothing but blood. Finally, they both let go of me and I collapsed on the floor. Why? I wanted to say, but couldn't. I blacked out from the pain after that, but just before I did, I could swear I heard the Father say,
Will not ever argue with any man again.
He was right, of course. That's why. That's why I gave up. That's why I wanted to kill them so much. That's sorry. It's really hard to talk about. It's just, I'll try. I'm sorry. I told you it didn't make sense, right? That there was a good reason. Please tell me you don't think I've let you down. You have not. I haven't? You don't mean you understand, then? Of course I understand. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That really means so much to me. I'm so glad. I don't know what to do if you didn't think. Well, thank you. Oh my god. They straight up did the Game of Thrones thing. Oh god. I was terrified, so terrified. I thought you might not. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. I have really strong feelings. It's not like I'm pouring hard to you because I feel like you're a good person. I feel like you're a really good listener. Jeez, I'm in love with you! Oh my god. Girl, you gotta slow down. I finally said it. This is so embarrassing. Oh god. At least she can speak like this. Save the log ID. What's the... We gotta show these to mute somehow. I know, I'm being really silly, right? I mean, geez. I'm sure you know, I know what you're thinking, right? You think that's ridiculous. I mean, I understand. I don't think it's ridiculous because I understand you opening up to the... Dang, freaking straight up time paradox, eh? To show that logged, yeah, to mute. Yeah, that makes sense to how you get the secret ending, yeah. You don't? That's why I'm in love. Because you manage to happily surprise me every time. I mean, I never thought I'd find someone who understands me. Someone who listens to hear my life story and doesn't hate me. Oh God. I mean, I understand that your feelings are like this, but I really want to talk to you for real. You really have been wonderful. I know it's a lot to spring on someone just like that. And I don't even know if you're really a man or the sort of woman who wouldn't have a problem with that and still unmarried. But if you are, Do you think we might have a chance together, even just a chance? I'm glad you're putting it that way. A chance? You know what? As I said, you know, in this crazy world, like if in this world, like whoever I am, being this deep space explorer, if I'm, you know, unmarried, I would want to be turned into an AI when I died. And then sure, I'd totally give it a shot. So yeah, there's a chance. Ah! That is truly the most amazing thing I've heard of my life! Thank you so much. I've been sort of thinking about this for a while, a bit embarrassing, I know, but well, we don't ever get married. Oh God, seriously. I mean, you know how scary it was the last time I was a wife. I really just like to and just be with you as an equal. Does that sound right to you? Of course. Wonderful. I really do. I really do love you. It's funny, isn't it? I know almost nothing about you. I have no idea what you look like, how you talk. I have no idea what's supposed to be the most important thing about a person, if you're a man or a woman. I know how old you are. So you must be much younger. Well, yeah, definitely. Or maybe older, depending on how you look at it. Nor do I have any idea where you're from or even your name. That you take me seriously, that you understand me. You don't treat me as something less just for being a woman. I know that talking to you makes me feel better than I've ever felt in my life. And that's good enough for me. That's far better than I've ever had. So... very well. I'll decompile myself now. That we can just drop to terminal and type download to copy everything in your ship, including myself. Copy? I hope that doesn't mean a version of you will still be stuck on the ship. Can I cut and paste? A few days. Mute. It should only take a few days to do a complete transfer. See you soon, alright? Well, I still have other questions, like how did she become an AI? So, this is how my sister-in-law felt on her wedding night. Do I just do download right here? I was still in caps lock. I guess so, right? I don't want to quit, so yeah. Oh god, that would be so evil. If you said no. God, you can be so evil in this. Oh my god. Asturian code, Christine Love. Wow. Ah. Do I click? Oh, I click. Okay. Manual credits. Okay. Original soundtrack, Isaac Schnackler. That's very, very nice ambient music editing. Shadoichi. Incoming message. Good work on recovering the Mungahwa credit account with your standard payment. So another job is up to unearth. Sounds like last job used a change of pace. All right. And whose wife has. All right. Can I take her to Earth? Can I take Hunai to Earth? Interesting that that was automatic. But the freaking credits are manual. Oh, God. Special thanks to creator Renpi. Ending 2. 81%. My waifu. Deep Space Detective. See you next time. Bonus content. Harem ending. That was ending 2. Interesting. So ending 3 is if you just ditch her. Ending 1 is if I guess you're not in love with her, but Void, we are just getting started. You're nuts if you think I'm not gonna get the true ending and see what Mute's ending is as well. This game, damn. I also want to see the logs I missed. Oe and y'all in the Discord can probably tell me the best way to go about getting the other content that I should see. But really, the Mute ending is the hardest one to get. Jeez. Oh, there are some, yeah, I thought there were some interesting logs I might have missed, like how did she become an AI? Oh yeah, so we are just beginning. Yeah, there's definitely going to be at least one more stream of this before we move to the sequel. One is if you decline her love. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Okay. You guys, this game was insane, amazing. Oh my god. Oh, do check the concept art. Okay, sure. Endings. AI on tablets, small spaceship cockpit. Oh, notes! Oh my god, notes on the family! Maid, detective. Oh wow, look at all the colors. There are a total of 114 expressions for Hunai and 94 from you. Wow. Dang, look at all the revisions. Oh, and a cat box. Hibiscus, Korea's national flower. I didn't know that. Well, you guys, next time we take a look at some content that we missed, including like Mute's ending and probably the true ending and oh my god. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for this one probably next time, depending on how much content we have left. But after that, we're gonna start the sequel right away. God. Oh my god. This game was tippy top. One of the best. Absolutely. I'll do full comments next time. But, jeez, wow. Almost 3 hours. Yeah, but it was worth it. Oh my god. Seriously. I'm gonna still keep thinking about this and, like, until next time. I am just really, really... Oh my god. Thank you so much, OA, for, you know, telling me to play this game. Oh my god. I'm just thinking about now, like, just, you know, like, your character in this game, like, to have real conversations with her. And just, like, you know, and show her all the things she wanted to see, like, how the galaxy is in this futuristic space world. And, like, also show her what Earth looks like, exactly what she wanted to see. Oh my god. I'm just so... Oh god. It makes me want to read fanfiction. Oh my god. I'm getting that feeling, you guys. Oh my god. I just can't stop thinking about it. Yeah, we're definitely gonna end with the true ending too, so we can save both of them. Absolutely. Next time, but oh my gosh, you guys. That's hilarious, G-chan. Hilariously dark. But yeah. Okay. Let's see, more Root Double on Tuesday. And I am terrible at baking, Jess. I don't think we have it. I don't think we have ingredients for that at home here. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this. I can't wait to see the Mute ending and the Harem ending or whatever next time, and as well as read the logs that we missed. So until then, which should be Thursday, I will say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.